I'm Angie C, or DJ Angie C.
To you people.
This is Handsome Boyfriend Dave.
To you people.
Also known as Wicked Handsome Boyfriend Dave, now that he's got a clean close shave from
Jack's
Jack's Barbershop.
Did not cut my head off.
No, and Katie himself did this whole scenario. I've been fighting women off with a stick all week. Welcome everybody to episode 41 of the Worst Talk Show. And
41.
You forgot to put the volume down on
there
your
was
iPad.
so much.
We had some technical difficulties.
We had
earlier.
real technical difficulties, guys.
Michael Maloney is here. Hello, Michael Maloney.
That's no
and
baloney.
Sam all over your ears ringing because we were just talking about you.
Sammy, I can't believe the development.
Yeah, Sammy booked a very special guest at an upcoming little private soiree with vaccinated folk.
Yeah.
And we're very, very, very impressed. And we probably weren't really going to come, but now we're coming. No, I'm just kidding. We were always coming.
Well, Will asked us to come, so.
Hey, Nikki T says we look sexy. I had to glam it up a little because this guy, Kevin Patey, like hit him with the handsome stick. He comes home from the barbershop and I was like, hello, do I know you? So I'm doing some retro
Yeah, she's definitely
situation.
going, yeah.
Yeah. Nikki T, first and foremost, we need to thank you
very much.
We're dedicating this episode tonight to Nikki T because not only did she request tonight's guests, they were on our minds.
Yep.
They were on our list.
And she read it.
But she said something last week and I was like, yep, let's get it done. So
but then in the mail,
Star Wars
a sheet of Star Wars droid stamps, guys. I mean,
IG-88, like everybody, right?
Yeah.
We're
K2SO.
very excited. I'm not saying that Nikki T treats us better than the rest of you do or anything. Like, I'm not throwing like a competition gauntlet down, but I will say right now, she's like MVP, most valuable person that watches the show. So we're happy you're here. Kristin and Mollie are on tonight, AKA Drink and Bake. The gals have been baking up a storm the entire pandemic. They basically taught themselves how to make all these amazing desserts. I think my favorite one, and I don't mean that I've tasted any of them, I just licked the pictures on the Instagram, is something that was the recipe of Mary Berry. And we love the British baking show all seasons. So I love that they were possibly inspired by that. We'll find out around 8 o'clock tonight.
It makes my brain go kapow because
we have plenty of the photos we're going to show you. The
geometric pattern is just like mind blowing. I want to like play Cubert.
Now, if that weren't enough, Kristin and Mollie also are obsessed with bar pizza. Now, bar pizza is different than regular pizza for those of you who don't hang out at pubs or what have you.
And I like to think I help them out with their projects.
It's a very thin crust. It's usually done in a different kind of a pan. It's done in a regular oven.
Smaller.
It's
There's
much
no
smaller.
actual crust. There's cheese all the way out to the edge.
But they're obsessed and they went on like, it was sort of a pub crawl, but it was really all about the pizza.
If somebody was clever, they might come up with a name for it. Like say, Pizza Slut Safari.
Dave came up with that name. I know you're all shocked. So we will talk to our special guests, Kristin and Mollie, tonight at 8 o'clock. Make sure you have your questions ready.
I've got so many questions.
So again, big kisses to Nikki T, dedicated to.
Heck of a job, kid.
Keep up the good work. Mother's Day, quickly. We got to talk about Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, do we have to?
Well, listen, Mother's Days are a mixed bag for everybody. I understand a lot of people can't deal. This particular year, the first Mother's Day without my mom. And of course, this is the year of first when you lose a parent. So, the first holiday, the first this. So I wanted to make sure that I was very scheduled and didn't have a lot of downtime to get really sad. Kendall made an appointment for us to get our nails done. She's 16 and a half. She, booked the appointment herself, was going to pay for it, the whole thing. I couldn't be more proud. We get into the salon on Saturday, which was a salon neither of us had ever been to in Marblehead, called Lucky. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out. We walked in there. We had an appointment at 1. First, nobody talked to us. Then they said, go wash your hands. And I was like, hi, we have a 1 o'clock appointment. Go wash your hands. And I was like, yeah, so one of us has a pedicure and one of us has a manicure. So why are we both going to wash our hands, right? It's packed to the gills. There's nobody at the front
They
desk.
overbooked.
They're still yelling at us. We go and wash our hands all the way back to the, the end of the salon. We come back and we stand there for 10 minutes, including some woman coming up and answering the phone in front of us. Still don't talk to us or direct us to do anything. And I was like, I've had it. I'm already over this. And I looked at Kendall and I said, I love you. And I'm so glad that you did this for me, but we're leaving. And so we left and I came home in a huff. And for about 10 minutes, I was like, "Arr!" And then I was like, screw this. We're going on a shopping spree. So mommy and daughter went to Marshall's and I bought myself some workout clothes. And then she took me to Newbury Comics, which I have not been to.
Hey, where'd you,
like
is that
a
where you
year
got
and a
that
half.
t-shirt?
Yes, and she bought me some cool t-shirts, including the Mos Eisley Cantina, which I'm very excited about. I want to show you the whole shirt because it actually says Tatooine as well. There you go. And some class shirts, which I'll probably wear next week. So it ended up being a great Saturday. And then Sunday, we made plans to go to the Hammond Castle because Dave had never been to the Hammond Castle. If you don't grow up in the North Shore, you probably haven't been. It's a castle in Gloucester. It was built by a very eccentric inventor / millionaire. And it's a little run down. I mean, it's a medieval castle. So you would expect it to be a little rundown, but the touristy part of it was also a little rundown. But you kind of got free reign. So
I
that
felt
was
like
cool.
so lame on that. We actually went on the guided tour. And
yeah, it was a little
I felt like I was from
cheesy.
the Midwest or something.
Yeah. It was kind of like, remember the woman from Saturday Night Live who I loved, was it Jan Hooks, who passed away?
Yes.
Funniest thing ever. She was the tour guide at the Alamo in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Can y'all say Adobe? Adobe. This is Juan and Inez. Inez has a clay pot she's very proud of. It was kind of like that, only
This girl was like a theater nerd.
oh yeah, we recognize the theater nerd.
Yes.
We live with one. We totally understand.
So,
But
by the way, hello, Sean O'Brien.
hey, Sean.
How are you, sir? Smitty is on.
Oh, hey, Smitty. So we had a great time when we decided
Yeah, it
to
was
make
interesting.
it a castle twofer where
Beautiful day.
Yeah, I've never been to Castle Island.
South Boston.
So we decided to go from, Gloucester, Manchester by the Sea, Magnolia, all the way to South Boston.
Yeah, on Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day, like total idiots.
Yeah, where does everybody in Salty take their mother on Mother's Day?
For a hot dog at Castle Island, apparently.
Sullivan's kid.
I'd never been to Sullivan's. I was super excited to go, and I also really had to go to the bathroom. And we get there, and it was like, not happening.
It was wall-to-wall people.
Yeah, and
the line for Sullivan's was like out, down, across like the sport. It was like humongous, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll figure this out somehow. So where do we end up? We end up going to Amrine's. There's off-street parking. There's seating inside and outside. I mean, what else do you need?
It was good, except
bathroom was lovely.
It's kind of the first time I'd ever been in a restaurant. The first time this weekend for restaurants. We went to Kodo Friday night. Was that Friday night or Saturday night? That was Saturday night. We went to Kodo in Salem Saturday night. We sat at the bar and I ate sushi. I ordered a sashimi plate appetizer. And I was able to eat half of it, and it was kind of the best meal ever. And I'm a cheap date, yay! But then when we went to Amrine's, I freaked out because it looked like there was nothing I could actually eat on the menu, and I was sort of worried, but it all turned out.
But she ate that turkey burger for the next 3 days,
I ate
people.
that turkey burger all weekend, and I couldn't have been happier.
Dates.
Linda Bean, hola, Linda Bean. Smitty said they went to an Italian restaurant in Rhode Island for Mom's Day.
There are Italian restaurants in Rhode Island?
Wow, Smitty, I'm calling you next time because that sounds like a plan. Although again, I couldn't.
All right, listen, you've been talking about stuff.
Yes.
What we might have not noticed was that Nikki T and Sam
yes
are pulling a little attitude towards the old pub pizza.
Really?
Yeah. You know, they're
because they don't like pub pizza.
they're Italians.
Listen, the Italians have their. Listen, it's not my jam. Bar pizza, pub pizza, totally not my jam either.
Yep.
But this is, they have a lot of fun, and we're going to talk to them about that.
Wheaton and pepper is no joke, guys. Crispy out to the edges. We're not talking Greek pizza. This isn't House of Pizza.
Yeah, I can't stand Greek pizza.
I mean, I love a pizzeria as much as anybody.
Pizzeria, not pizzeria.
Hey, listen, you say
dirty.
pizzeria. I say pizzeria.
Anyway, Mollie and Kristin will be on at 8. And we will talk pizza. We will talk bar pizza, pub pizza, but we're mostly going to talk about the fabulous desserts they keep hitting us with every weekend.
Makes
and
me
the pictures
sick.
look amazing.
Why do they torture me like that?
And I love that they're all rice approved. So Kristin's husband Rice gets to taste test everything, and I don't know how he doesn't weigh like 300 pounds.
I never really liked rice that much.
That's not true. We love rice, but we are
Gets to taste
very jealous about the desserts. So it was still, all in all, it was a very successful Mother's Day weekend, really. I mean, did I get teary? Absolutely. I had a little sob in the car when Dave went to get coffee. My sister and I sent us little videos to each other, just the little things that we did to honor my mom that weekend. And so it was great all the way around, I feel. Shall we get to the movies, my dear, and the television shows and whatnot? What to watch?
I didn't know we were doing that.
Why don't you start? We went to Norway this weekend.
All right, look it, guys. Is this strange? You guys tell me, okay? This is what we do. We're always looking around for something new to watch, okay? So I come across this show called Occupied, okay? There are 3 seasons available.
So in Espanol, would that be Occupado?
Occupado. What happens is it's a Norwegian-produced show. It's in Norwegian. It's also in like Russian, English, it's quite international. The premise is that the Norwegians shut down oil production. Europe and the Russians don't like it. The Russians kind of invade, and it goes from there.
They kind of invade. Is that like
kind
a
of
little
invade.
pregnant?
Kind of invade. The Russians are good like that, like the Ukraine.
It's like a political thriller.
Oh, let me help you with that. No, really, let me help you with that. That's kind of the way they do things. So I'm watching that show, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I watched the first season. I'm in the second season. And she goes, hey, I just found this show. It's called Beforeigners. But it's kind of weird because it's in Norwegian.
I'm like, it takes place in Oslo.
I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know they had more than one show in Norway.
This show's great. It's called Beforeigners because they're invaded by foreigners that are coming up through the water, and they're
not invaded. They just appear.
It's time travel. So these people just show up from the Stone Age all
They'll
the way
be
up,
like
all the way up.
A Viking will be like, they speak Norwegian, guys. I don't know.
Up to the 19th century. I wonder if Sean O'Brien has seen it yet, because I feel like he's always got his finger on the pulse with these kind of shows.
Nobody cares. Apparently.
Oh, well, nobody's commenting. Apparently nobody cares.
They're good shows.
That's just not very nice.
I don't think I like your attitude collectively.
Anyway, Beforeigners, I'm totally digging it. There is a shield maiden, a Viking shield maiden, who decided that she wanted to be a police officer. So she goes to the academy, and they hire her.
Yeah, they're being, kind of folded back into society or into society.
And they hire her as like the token Beforeigner. And she's so badass, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute, the moss. Guys,
So,
if you don't watch it for any other reason, you gotta watch it to see how the moss gets used.
Yeah, she keeps having the car be pulled over to grab some moss, and you're like, what is she using the moss for? And well, you find out. Because in the Stone Age, we didn't have certain sanitary products.
Okay, listen. A shield maiden is not in the Stone Age.
No, that's right. What is that? Like the 15th century? 14th
it's about the
century?
10th century.
Really?
Yes. 12th, 11th century.
All right. Anyway, so we loved that. We've been watching Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix.
Anyone
watching that?
Yeah, it's weird. It's either Norwegian or it's superheroes
People
because
with superpowers.
we started watching. She didn't really like it. Invincible, which is done by Robert Kirkman of the Walking Dead fame.
Yeah, the animation is not awesome. And
The animation
it's
is
old school. It's really old school.
What do you mean it's old school? It's perfect.
It's old school.
It's like all the
it's
DC.
violent, which is
very
great,
violent.
but there was no hook for me, and I was out by
But
the
what a
middle of
cast.
episode 2. I was
J.K. Simmons,
see ya.
Sandra Oh.
Yeah, it's all voice acting.
Is it?
Hey, Ellen. What do you mean you got in? We don't have like a velvet rope. Everybody's welcome.
I mean, I thought of that, but like, she's like, no, you gotta be accepted.
No, we are all inclusive here. So the jury's still out on Jupiter's Legacy. It stars Josh Duhamel and Leslie Gibb, and it goes back and forth in time, but they're superheroes and they're older in the present. And Leslie Gibb looks excellent as an older lady.
She's gonna look great as an old woman.
The makeup is actually really well done. It's a little, at first it didn't look it, but Josh Duhamel's brother in it is fantastic. Like, I think they did a good job. It's just like, it's a really slow burn, and they really drop little nuggets here and there.
We still don't know. How many episodes are we in? We still don't know how they got there.
7 episodes.
Yeah, we don't know how they got their powers yet.
Yeah, and it's kind of a drag. I feel like we need a little more. So we may not stick with that. We'll see. Pose. I don't know if any of you guys watch Pose. I talked about it last year. It's all about the ballroom era, and not only gay and lesbian, but really trans people, and how they were thrown out of their homes and they found families within the ballroom Vogue dance scene. That's why it's called
Where
Pose.
the song comes from.
Yeah, Madonna went to one of those and stole it and made it huge.
Made a gazillion dollars.
Billy Porter is the star of the show, and he's just amazing and lovely and so talented. And they are now in the 90s. And of course, the AIDS epidemic is just crazy. But this is the final season, and the first 3 episodes are available to watch. And I was like, I'm so happy right now. It was all I needed. So happy. So if you are interested in Pose, or if you watch the other seasons, let's watch together and we can like chat online about it and stuff. Ellen said I couldn't access the show last week. Dave,
Really?
did you say Ellen couldn't be on the show?
Well, there was a
last week?
secret word. If you didn't know the secret word, you weren't allowed in.
What's the secret word?
Ellen.
Anyway, Ellen, we're glad you're here. What else did we
All right,
watch?
City on a Hill, people.
We finally
It's
broke
back.
down and we got Showtime. And partially because you generous people hit up the Venmo tip jar. And we're trying to widen our net of things we're watching. And we need all the platforms. So we got Showtime and we watched a couple episodes of City on a Hill. Or was it just one today?
Just one.
But so much better than last season. Already. So much better. Kevin Bacon is just he plays Jackie Rohr, and he is the quintessential
a crooked FBI agent.
Masshole. Like, oh yeah, he is. He's a dirtbag, but you still kind of love him, and the things that come out of his mouth, you cringe and you also laugh. But Aldous Hodge, who we lovingly talked about because he played Jim Brown in One Night in Miami
and was awesome,
is in this show, and he's a major, he might be number 1 on the call sheet, to be honest with you.
Okay, look, the
Bacon,
bottom line is this. Our former governor.
Oh, right. What's his name?
I can't remember now right now.
It's kind of loosely based on him. It's all about it starts
Deval Patrick, guys.
Yeah, it's loosely
based on that character coming up.
And the first season starts right after the Michael Stewart thing. Was it Michael Stewart?
Yeah, where they went into the projects and like rousted everybody.
Yeah, where the guy falsely accused somebody from Roxbury or Dorchester of killing his wife, and it was really him. Yeah. And then he jumped off the Tobin Bridge.
Look at this, hear him roar.
Yeah, so
Sam, Norway,
watching it.
Norway, Sam, watch it. I'm serious.
we're all about the Norwegian television shows.
It was just
Sorry.
funny because I'm like, I started watching the show that was your idea, and I'm like, that guy's in my show. That guy's in my show. Hey, that girl's in my show. Like, it was just like
Charles Stewart. What did I say before?
Charles Stewart.
Did I not say Charles Stewart? I knew I got the Stewart right.
Oh,
but
Mike,
thank you.
did you say Michael Stewart?
I might have, yeah.
That's his cousin. He was a junior
No,
for the
Michael
third.
Skakel was not too.
I'm not.
confusing
I
the
didn't say
things.
Skakel. No one said
I'm
that.
confusing the things. Anyway, it's about how corrupt and, ridiculously racist not that it isn't still ridiculously racist, but the corruption was like at an all-time high.
Well, there's the whole Whitey Bulger fallout with
So they weave a lot of fun, true facts in with everything. And you do get to see, like, there was a car scene and there was a Supra that went by and it actually had the Supra logo on the back window. And I'm like, how many times did we see that in the late 80s and early 90s?
Like the pants are pegged and the, you know what I mean? Like, it's
so it's getting there.
It's a good, it's better this year. It is better
definitely. So I'm looking forward to watching more City on a Hill for sure. We're getting close to that time where our special guest will be joining us. We have about 8 minutes left. We did want to talk a little bit about some music. Obviously, Smitty, we promise we're going to record those intros hopefully this weekend for the Atomic Fez fundraiser. Looking forward to that, of course, May 27th. And Smitty, if you can give details within the comments so everybody can see that, that would be great. But we have some other big, more pending time-sensitive music issues. One being that the new Boss Tones album is officially out. I believe the title is When God Was Great. It is not a religious album of any kind, just so you know. There is a protest George Floyd song, which is the video we showed you, where Ben
just dances across
the city, which is amazing. I have to say, I know you guys know that I'm a huge Boss Tones fan anyway. We both are. This is the best record they've recorded in a very long time. I would say in the last 20 years.
Whoa, 20 years?
Yeah.
Am I that old?
We are that old. So I urge you to check out the new Boss Tones record if you can. And I wanted to know if anybody checked out Radkey. We talked about what drives us and that band that Dave Grohl sort of let us all be introduced to.
We had no idea.
Yeah. Really, really like them. So I'm just curious if anybody listened to Radkey yet. I'm also following them on Twitter. And I'm excited to see them live at some point. I hope that they will resume touring. A lot of friends have started buying concert tickets again. My friend Sam Parker bought a ticket to go see Time and the Mary Jane Girls. And no Time Machine was involved.
The Time.
Morris Day and the Time, sorry. Can you get over that show? I'd go see that show. I'd risk COVID to see that show. Thank you.
I think I'd like to know you.
Smitty's got it all up, the virtual video Atomic Fez fundraiser for Boston, which is a benefit for Boston area local music venues. It is airing on YouTube Thursday, May 27th at 8:15. And there'll be all the places that you can donate money to. We will have all that information. It's all right here, right now for you on your screen. And we'll have it as well for you as we get closer to the date.
And before I forget, our pal Riley Somack has new music on Bandcamp.
Have we heard it yet?
I haven't, but you know what? I don't feel weird saying go check it out.
Okay.
Because the kid just makes.
Well, yeah, and I had the Rupert Selection T-shirt on last week. Was it last week? Yep. What else is going on?
Oh, that's it.
Nobody checked out Radkey. I thought I gave you a homework assignment.
Jeez. What is up?
I say. By the way, I started singing. I was so excited. Dave went and got our dump stickers, which also happened to be our beach parking stickers in Marblehead. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. And I was so excited for it that I actually started singing in my head, "Are you ready for the summer? Are you ready for the good times?" Who knows what that movie is from? Go ahead, I'll wait.
Me?
No, you can't say.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Also, the same movie had the ditty that I know by heart, and I have no good reason why I know this by heart, but I do. Are you ready? Here we go. We are the CIT, so piteous. The kids are brats, the food is hideous. We're gonna drink and smoke and fool around. We are the North Star CITs.
Counselors in training?
Yes, it's meatballs, everybody. Bill Murray and meatballs. Yes, I started singing. Are you ready for the
Nikki
summer?
T, I think you'll dig it.
Yeah, Nikki T, I think you're gonna like Rad
Yeah,
Key a lot.
Radke's pretty cool.
I know that Rad Key was raised on a lot of music that we listen to, and you can hear a lot of it in there. And they're ready to save the music business with guitar and drums and bass. And we're like, we're in.
Yeah.
So now that I've now sung twice on the show, and when's the last time you sang, by the way? It's been a hot minute.
I don't sing.
You sing and you dance. Did everybody see the video I posted from a few years ago today? Dave in the frozen food aisle dancing to Shaka Khan's I Feel For You. You really have to turn the volume all
Rice
the way up.
Edmonston is on.
Hey, Rice.
Hey, Rice. I guess we have to have Kristin on every week.
This one is for you. This one is for the horse you rode it on. I love it. Rice is also the official taste tester of the Drink and Bake ladies. So we might need to ask him about what his favorite confection
Kevin.
that they made.
Kevin Tachi is...
He's trying to get you to
He's trying to get me to sing.
Well,
where has this guy been?
It's been a hot minute since you
A hot minute?
sang. Yeah.
I just don't feel it.
Really? You don't feel it?
No. Sometimes I do. I mean, if
Are you saying you've lost
Kristin and
your
Mollie had
mojo?
sent me like a free sample.
No,
of
we're
something.
not eating that. stuff
Listen,
right
I
now.
will have my stomach removed afterwards.
No, that's not how that works. Sam Avola says Dave dancing at the grocery store is the best video ever. It's pretty great. He's got some sweet moves.
Listen, I can move okay for a fat man.
Alan says, I saw that and Dave most certainly can sing because he sang at your birthday party. That's right, he did. And it was loverly.
Release the pipes.
Kevin Tachi. Release the house. I mean the pipes.
Oh.
And now they're requesting some dancing. Everybody's jumping on and jumping off.
What is up with that?
Our Wi-Fi is great because we're not using it. We're using the
maybe
Ethernet.
maybe we should mix. We got a couple of minutes. We could mix like, you know, the Drink and Bake with like Danzig.
Okay,
like,
well you go ahead and
I
come
gotta
up
think
with
of something.
Weirdo. Casey Riddles is here. Are you on the bar right now, Casey? Are you taking valuable time away from the bar?
Oh my goodness.
We're very happy to see you. I know you went back to work on
Hi,
Wednesday
Casey
night,
Riddles.
so
How are you, sir?
one of our awesome executive producers who's been with us from the jump, Casey Riddles, aka Demon Rock on social media.
Am I demon?
I'm sorry. By the way, you can't sing Danzig anymore. Glenn Danzig made a big faux pas. He's been saying
he's one big faux pas.
Yeah.
In a small package.
Yeah, he's definitely not I don't know, liberal, shall we say?
Yeah, well, I mean, if that was the case, we wouldn't be able to sing a lot of stuff, I think.
You're probably right, but right now Danzig is persona non grata, and perhaps we should find a singer a little more. Henry Rollins always works for me. Henry can do no wrong.
I do love Henry Rollins, I have to say.
So if you
now I'm like,
do a little Henry, and then we're gonna bring if you could have Henry Rollins sing about the Drink and Bake girls.
Man, what
that
would
we
he
can
say?
introduce them on the show. They're coming in 1 minute, you guys. Like 1 minute. Doug McCormick, washed up dudes say washed up things. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't you come up with a song and then we can sing it maybe at the end. No?
It's tough doing this like right off the thing, like off the cuff. I could be like,
yeah.
I think you got a low temperature oven. You didn't let your dough rise enough. Like something like that. Like, I don't know. It's
all right,
tough.
let's bring Kristin
It's
and
not
Mollie on.
easy.
Let's bring the Drink and Bake girls on, shall we?
Shake and bake. Hey!
Hey!
Wicked! Welcome, girls. Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
And you've
Happy
got,
to
is
be
it the
here.
torque or the taupe? What do we call those again?
I have no idea. Ask
Is it a
my
toque?
I think they're called a torque because I was married to a chef and he did have to wear those when he worked at the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh,
And when
really?
we were in
I
bed
just thought this
together.
was your show. I didn't know this was a real thing.
Fancy chefs have to wear the fancy hat.
Angie was always like, put more
Oh
torque
my
on it.
God, you guys are wearing the whole matching outfit.
Whoa,
Yes, we
ladies
are.
and gentlemen.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I feel underdressed.
By the way, I just want to get it out of the way right now. You guys know that I don't consider you pizza sluts.
We don't take it that way. I mean,
Okay, yes,
but
I thought we were simpatico on that. I just want to make sure that everybody else is in on that.
I did wear a shirt that was in the Pizza Slut logo, the Pizza Hut logo that said Pizza Slut. So I was asking for it by the way I was dressed.
Perfect. And it's a safari. You're out there amongst the tribes, you know?
It's true. It's true.
So
Wild with the
for
salt and
anybody
beer.
that's watching, and then when people watch the finished show on cable access television stations
All over,
the
everywhere.
New England area, for those that don't know, when did you guys start drinking and baking to the
Leave
point
the
where
drinking part out. We know
No.
you started drinking very early.
you were literally killing us during the pandemic? So how did it start? Give us a little origin story on the whole thing.
Well, it kind of came from boredom. We had, Molly and I had a little like arrangement that we were going to be very safe and stay in our homes and keep the bubble like as small as possible so that we could have at least one person to hang out with, because you know,
Yeah.
everybody knows it was really hard to be so isolated during the time. So then we said, well, we need to do something, but there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. I mean, what are we going to do? And Mollie likes to bake. I know nothing about baking.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
All
so
right.
here the
You
truth
have
comes
your
out.
two things to make. She said I'm really good at making cookies and fudge, and me, I like to explore and make pretty looking things.
Which
So,
you definitely
Yeah, you
have
got
done.
that down.
Yeah, you do. Now,
yeah,
I
decided
noticed,
to start exploring that.
I noticed one of my favorites that you made. And again, I have to remind everybody, none of us have tasted these outside of your
It's
home.
kind of cruel. I mean, let's be honest.
But the pictures look so amazing. We're like licking the screen. Was one that was a recipe from Mary Berry, who
Yes.
was one of the original judges on the British Baking Show,
Which we love.
which we love. So did that help with your inspiration were you watching a lot of that, or was that just a weird coincidence?
Oh, more than just an inspiration. We watched through all of Great British Baking Show, and that became our goal, to make as many things from that show as possible.
From
Yeah.
scratch.
And when you threw down the Genoese sponge, I was like,
I
I
was
know
like-
what's going on here.
That's a lovely Genoese. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Oh.
When we started, we just started doing it for us for fun, you know, just for something to do. And you know, you take shots, you know, every now and then throughout and the baking gets a little bit, you know, but
Why
then
is this
yeah.
so lopsided?
Did you end up getting to a good ratio where it wasn't going to get too sloppy and,
No.
you know, or it just didn't matter?
No,
I don't know.
So-
I feel like we got into a groove of like when to stop the baking and then pick it back up tomorrow.
yeah, we have a tendency to finish the next day, the baking the next day.
Ah,
Well, that's actually not a bad idea
that's
because
kind of smart.
you need to let cakes cool. As we all know in the British Baking Show, they literally have to put theirs in the freezer because they don't have time. You really should let it cool for a long time before you're going to decorate. So, producer Ethan, can you start the slideshow? We took some of the
We've
photos.
got some of the photos, people.
And
What you guys got to start selling this stuff or something. Look at that.
this was the latest. This was like an orange something cake.
Let
Citrus honey.
Citrus
Citrus
honey.
honey.
citrus honey, and you guys used bubble wrap to make the
Honeycomb?
honeycomb, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make the cake, was specifically to make that piece of chocolate.
You know what? And then you're eating it and you're snapping the things. I mean, it's pretty much nirvana.
It's perfect. It was fun.
And then tell us about this one.
This is a dark, a Black Forest cherry cake that we made for my niece's 15th birthday. With, I mean, this thing was rich beyond your wildest dreams.
While being light at the same time. This was probably one of our best creations, flavor wise. But yes, it's a classic Black Forest cake with a cherry reduction, a little bit of cognac in that mix to give it that punch, and then some chocolate ganache on the inside, white chocolate buttercream on the outside, the nice little chocolate bark to give it that little woodsy look.
Yeah, this one, she knows.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's nice and all, but is there like cardamom in it? Is there in it? Okay.
We yell at some of the ingredients they keep trying to use in the baking show.
Okay,
that
stop
don't
everything.
work.
This
Dave's
blows
obsessed
my
with
mind.
this one.
As somebody with like OCD,
And as a math guy, because he's a carpenter, and,
I'm
and like
oh man,
angles
like you
and-
can look at it and it's
yeah.
like, it looks like a really well inlaid floor. Like, you know, when they do that, it looks like Hubert. It could be, oh, man, it blows my mind.
And tell us about this. Is it a tart?
It is. It's a
Okay.
it's a frangipane,
Frangipane.
frangipane almond creamy custard, right?
Yep.
And we put a strawberry, the recipe didn't call for it, but we put a strawberry preserves layer before we put the rhubarb pieces on there, which I have to tell you something about this cake. I mean, this tart. We first cut out all the rhubarb. We measured it. Mollie had like a protractor and measured the angles to get the right rhombus shape.
Yeah.
And we did the whole thing. And then one of the recipes called for us to poach it. So we poached it and it just turned into mush.
Yeah.
So we spent all this time cutting out these intricate pieces and it turned to mush. So I quickly grabbed more stalks and we just went to work and we didn't poach it this time.
It's beautiful.
It is one of the most gorgeous things. Like, I can't stop looking at it. The only thing I don't want to do is eat it because I'm not a rhubarb fan at all. Like,
I'll eat yours, honey. I love this stuff.
No, and it's because when I was a kid, the guy across the street grew rhubarb and he gave a bunch to my mom and she was like, I have no idea what to do with this. And every recipe was like, you'll need a pound of sugar to just make the rhubarb taste like something other than rhubarb.
Yep.
But I'm sure it's lovely. And I think the strawberry jam layer was probably a really good idea just to sort of offset that a little bit.
We also did a rhubarb and sugar like glaze. So that's why it's so shiny that we poured on top. So that we were trying to take that sour out of the rhubarb that it traditionally has. So, but we were proud of this one because we even surprised ourselves. And Mollie,
beautiful, like really, really well done, guys.
Mollie constructed the shape. Like, you know, I cut all the pieces out, but she was the one who put it together in that fun shape. So
it was
teamwork.
extremely satisfying to put that together.
Tetris.
Yeah.
It's satisfying to look at. All right, next slide, please. What we haven't gotten into too much is the fact that you guys are also very, let's just say, passionate about bar pub pizza.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Listen, everybody has opinions on this, right? Am I wrong? Everybody's got opinions.
Right.
Okay. The Cape Cod Cafe is my place. And I was like, I suggested it to you guys.
You did.
And you went and tried it.
He was so happy
And
proud.
I was just like, vindication.
Cape Cod Cafe did us right. That place was fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. I love
When
that.
did this obsession with the bar pizza go back to the pizza, Ethan? When did that obsession happen? Because that seems like it's very ingrained in your DNA as well.
Well, I'm from the South Shore, so I kind of grew up, and we have some South Shore bar pizzas places around here in Quincy, Fowler House and Alumni and whatnot. So I kind of always had it in my life. But you know, another pandemic story is that there was a group that was formed on Facebook called South Shore Bar Pizza Social Club, started during the pandemic or February of 2020, and it blew up. And they now I think have like 35,000 or 40,000 members.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's over 40,000 members now.
And people just talk about all the bar pizza places in the South Shore that everybody needs to try. So we do bar pizza tours where we go around and we check out all the recommendations. And it's just delicious pizza. It's 10 inches. So you can sit down and eat the whole thing, just you, and not feel guilty about it. At least I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I just want to put it out there. I don't know if you guys are into it. linguiça and pepper.
That was
Linguiça
her.
and pepper.
Yeah,
at the
that's all
Cape Cod
me.
Cafe.
Kristen is cheese and pepperoni only. I am all about linguiça and pepper. I am into
Got it.
that.
I liked your style.
I have no palate, so even for desserts, I don't eat any of the stuff that we bake.
Really?
I'm allergic to chocolate. I'm allergic to peanut butter,
Oh,
and I also have like a beige food, fetish, if you will.
You eat like a 5-year-old. That's
I
just
eat like
you
a 5-year-old.
eat like a 5-year-old. That's how
Want
I
a mac and
tell
cheese?
people.
A lot of mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. Okay, so this is the Mary Berry recipe. Let's
Yes.
talk about this because I literally want to grab it and just motorboat all of them.
oh man.
Go ahead.
I mean, this was surprisingly tasty. And I thought it was going to be more difficult than it was. I mean, assembly was definitely difficult, all that very delicate piping. But I was fooled because I thought that brown on the top was chocolate when we were going to make it. It's actually a liquid fondant.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it has
So you had
some
to
very
pipe around the outside?
Yeah, it's a very strange, sticky
Yeah.
texture.
Very
but-
sticky.
and then
Yeah.
what's on the outside? What is that crumb coating?
Ooh,
Crunchy.
toasted almonds.
Which-
It's crushed
which
toasted
we-
almonds.
We toasted them ourselves. We don't slack. We do everything from scratch when we can. So
Oh, and I topped the rest of that onto like oatmeal and different like snacks I was having. That was toasted to perfection.
It looks so amazing. I
Okay,
can't-
so
I
run us
can't
through
help
what's
myself.
inside it.
I forget to.
well, there's a Genoese sponge, and then there's a chocolate mocha buttercream, 2 layers of Genoese with the buttercream in the middle.
Nice.
And then the buttercream goes on the outside so that you can coat the almonds around the side. And then it's
Feels
piped with,
Oh, right, the coffee creme au beurre. Oh my gosh, the French making of the buttercream, the creme au beurre, that was one of the most delicious coffee buttercreams I've ever had in my life.
And what makes it the French crème au beurre?
It's the way that you prep like the sugar and butter. Like you have to cook it first before you add the sugar, or like you cook the sugar in the liquid, add the butter, and you cook it a little bit before adding in the other ingredients. So that it
Interesting.
becomes really, really silky.
yep.
Wow.
That's
okay.
what surprised me about a lot of these bakes that I mean, I'm so new to baking, but like it surprised me about a lot of these bakes that there's a lot more steps than just like, Betty Crocker from the box into the,
Oh, yeah.
now I'm sitting over the, the hot stove, like, with a thermometer, cooking sugar to the right temperature before, Mollie's yelling at me.
Did you ever think you'd be doing stuff like that, Kristen? Honestly.
Never. I'm
And
not.
that's what I love about that. I mean, we're used to seeing Kristen with a guitar on, a gunslinger, and she's screaming into a microphone and we're all going crazy. And, to picture you with a sugar thermometer, it's like,
Yeah, let's try this.
it's the most punk rock thing ever. As
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned.
I just came from Krav Maga class. We practice ripping people's throats out. But now I'm on to tarts.
Yep. Delicate French patisserie.
I love it.
Oh!
We need to talk about these bad Larrys right here.
Would
those
these
were
be called a bonbon?
They're quite big. They're almost 3 inches in diameter. So they're not like the hot those hot chocolate
truffles.
bombs or the
Yeah.
truffles that people are doing now. They're pretty big, and that has the Victoria sponge or the Genoese sponge. One of the
It
sponges.
was a Victoria sponge, and it had like a chocolate mousse on the chocolate ones and a raspberry mousse on the white ones. Each one had a little treat in the middle.
Oh, we have the picture of the sliced open one. I
Oh.
couldn't not show it. So hopefully there it is.
Oh yeah.
chocolate mousse. We put caramel in the middle.
Mhm.
I can't
Oh,
even with this.
my
Like
Lord.
I'm drooling right now. It's funny.
Chocolate mousse.
By the way, Rob McKinnon says this is as good as watching the Great British Baking Show. So
Thanks, Rob.
I feel like
That was a
you
great
have
offer.
arrived. You know what I'm saying?
Without the mean guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's
I love
giving
Paul
me-
Hollywood.
Well,
Nobody's giving me handshakes at the end of the night, so I don't really feel validated until Rob says something. Now I feel validated.
it's beautiful.
Thank you,
When we
Rob.
see you, we're gonna give you the Paul Holiday handshake.
Hollywood. The Hollywood Holiday.
Kristin Holliday, Paul Hollywood. Sorry about that. But yeah, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you're idiots and you need to watch the British Baking Show immediately. Okay, idiots is a strong word, but you know, how can we be friends? But look at this
Guys,
one, the
raspberry mousse.
There's actually a
raspberry
raspberry
in
in
there.
it.
There's a fresh raspberry in there. It was so fun making the mousses, but you know, we really got in over our heads with this one because we did both. I mean, I don't eat a lot of the bakes because of the chocolate factor. So we were like, let's make a white chocolate thing so that Kristin can try it. But we got in over our heads because we had to make 2 separate mousses from scratch.
Oh my God.
As well as all the shells and the sponges and everything else. So that was a long bake.
So are you guys available for parties once everybody's vaccinated? Because I feel like this, you could go, you could take this on the road, ladies.
This is definitely a thing.
I feel like it's going to have to be our obligation now to the world is to
I
bake.
mean, I assume this will happen. It's become my personal obligation around birthdays to make people birthday cakes long before we started doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable with the idea. I already bring stuff into work very frequently since I started this for people to try. And I don't know. I'm down with this future.
I'm terrified.
Sounds
think
like a
it's
fun
amazing.
future.
Before I forget, we also have a new Instagram page dedicated to the Drink and Bake.
Yes.
And oddly enough, there are several drink and bakes. So you have to do drink.n.bake. Is that it?
That's correct.
And I think I was your first official follower. I'm very excited about that honor.
Get the honor.
When do we get the free samples?
I wish we could have made it up to your place.
I don't wish. Not right now.
We're not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
when I get there,
I'll
we're
have
having
cake pops when you guys are ready. We'll make you some special David
Yes.
Angie C cake pops.
I love that idea.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody's talking back and forth. Paul Hollywood isn't the mean guy. I mean, listen, I love Paul Hollywood. If he is in a room with Dave and I cannot be held responsible, like at all. Like the blue wolf eyes and that full head of hair,
Hey,
and that little smirk.
Listen, Prue's an older woman, but you know, she needs love too. So
I mean, hey, I would be more than happy to have a drink with Prue Leaf, okay? Because she knows what's up.
Yeah, we're obsessed.
She's cool.
We can't stop watching it either. And it's funny that I can watch it now and not feel like I need to go eat, but your pictures are like scary territory for me. It's almost a kryptonite. Like I can't look for too long and I have to, you know, occupy my time elsewhere.
It's kind of like, I know it's far away and there's a pandemic, so I can't like go and make and get it, you know, like, so I'm like, okay, it's kind of like, you know, only a concept, you know. Did they really make, oh, look at that's beautiful, look at it, it's so nice to look at.
Well, just be glad it's not like the ring.
Doesn't affect me at all.
Just be glad it's not like the ring and it's not the desserts don't come out at you when you watch the video. So
Is there some way we could do that?
Don't
give him any ideas. Holly Cantor says, I hear there will be a pastry party at Club Kent. I'm down. I'm definitely down. I'll come to judge. That way I can just take a little bite. Baking parties or baking classes, Ellen asks. Well, that's a good question. I imagine it would be a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, I learned so much during this that I kind of feel like one of those people that are like, oh, baking's, you know, I'm not going to watch baking shows. I'm not going to bake. Mollie's always like, you want to help me with this cake? I'm like, but I learned so much. It's so much fun. It's great, and adding the drinks to it doesn't hurt anything. But I learned this trick that I want to share with your viewers, because I think it's something that, like, we all still have busy lives, even though we're trapped in the house during a pandemic.
Right.
Let's just say that your recipe calls for room temperature butter, but you were busy all day doing laundry and getting the kids off to school and doing work and everything. So you forgot to take the butter out of the fridge to let it sit. And now you're like, how am I going to get this cake done? Well, the trick is, and I found this out, I think it was a YouTube thing, so I can't take credit for it. Take a glass, like a pint glass is probably best, right? Wet it with a little bit of water, put it on top of a paper towel in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes, right? Take it out, put another piece of paper towel down, take the stick of butter and put it on the piece of towel standing upright and put the pint glass over it. If you let it sit there, it doesn't melt the butter, it just softens the butter. And then you have your softened butter within minutes.
Much easier to eat that way, right?
No, that's amazing because it is an issue when you do, when Kendall is a diabolical baker in the house, she's doing a lot of stuff from scratch too, but she will microwave the butter and they won't come out right if you're doing cookies or whatever. Like it really depends.
The butter will separate sometimes in the microwave. Another thing that I learned is that ingredients will separate if you do it a certain way. So that way is best, where you don't get it to melt, you just get it to soften enough for you to work with. But I wouldn't recommend doing it with eggs. If you get to take the eggs out, don't do it with eggs, because then you'll have like little chickens all over your the eggs.
This is my chicken cake.
Yeah,
Not
my
open.
idea for that is to carry the eggs under my boobs and my bra. That's how I
there you go. I can totally do that as well. That's
I was
a good
just going to
idea.
ask you, Molly, what's your favorite cake to make? What's your favorite thing to bake?
My favorite thing to bake. I really like making those light, fluffy chocolate cakes. That, and I really like tiramisu, because I like to eat it so much. It's something I like to bake. Because most of the stuff I bake, even though I adore it, I have a bite and that's it. But tiramisu, I will eat an entire plate of.
Nice.
I was tiramisu is definitely more of a grown-up dessert for me. When I was a kid, I'd be like, "Oh, this looks great," and that I couldn't deal
coffee.
with it. Yeah, it was too much for me. But now, like, and it is very fancy. I mean, it has lady fingers. Like,
Now, obviously,
everything about it is fancy.
Obviously, you make the lady fingers yourself, right, from scratch?
Absolutely.
I love it. And
I didn't want to insult
just to
you.
get back to the butter thing really quickly, one of my favorite sayings is that baking is science and cooking is art. And it's so important. And I feel like it teaches everybody so much. Yes, of course, baking, the payoff is the big gooey, whatever, sweet thing, but it's such a learning experience, right? Like Kristin said, like I'm sure your mind was blown at all these things that you've learned. And I love that the pandemic, just like when we had Kevin Patey on, you know, we're talking about people that normally do X, Y, and Z, and then the pandemic comes and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to try this now. And by the way, this is great. And I want it to be part of my life now as well, you know? And I think that's one of the great silver linings of the pandemic for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin's, congratulations to Kevin too, by the way, for opening his barbershop. And Dave, your hair looks fantastic and nice.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
It's the cutest shop too. We drove by on our way back from Hammond Castle. It was closed, so I couldn't go in, but it's like
quite
it's
a
on the
spot.
water.
Oh,
And
great.
and Dave took a bunch of pictures on the inside.
Yeah, there's like parking.
And it's like little there's stock car racing or something.
He's got Scalextrics, right? It's an English company, and they make slot cars, you know, where you control them remote.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to go just for that.
fun.
That's
I want to
The place
play.
is so big. He's got a jukebox that's real 45s.
wow.
You know, like 145s.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna have live music there eventually. And so I'm
There's
already
enough room.
picturing maybe a Stars Like Ours, but also like a drink and bake situation where we
He
could
provides
sort
the
of
treats and the music, and he provides the venue and the cool venue.
yeah.
I'm telling
We'll
you.
bring the cake pops. It'll be great.
Yeah, you could, by the way, my mind was blown wide open when I found out what cake pops are made of. Can you tell people that don't know what's on the inside of a cake pop? Because I just thought it was undercooked cake. I had no idea how you make a cake pop.
We haven't looked yet.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just know that.
Oh, you haven't made them?
Oh, really? So,
Oh, sorry about that. We'll edit that out.
I don't
We'll
wait,
edit that out. Don't worry about it.
I just had no idea that it really is pieces of cake with frosting mixed together.
Oh yeah, okay. That
And
makes
then,
sense.
Yeah.
and then you mold it and then you cover it with, you know, some sort of ganache or whatever.
Well, forget it now. I mean,
yeah,
you just
well,
took all the mystery out of it.
It's so simple. And I was like, I really had no idea. I thought it was one of those magic things only certain people could do. And it seems like kind of a simple thing.
The cake
Yeah.
pop elves?
Yeah.
It's we most of our bakes, what we do is like, you know, Molly will text me and be like, "Are we baking this weekend?" I'll be like, "Of course." And and we'll say, "Well, what are we going to bake?" And then we have to go searching on our own to figure out what we're going to find. And some of the stuff that she sends me, like that tart that rhubarb tart. When she said that to me, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I kind of just want to have my Saturday night, man. I don't want to do this whole thing. But she sends me some crazy ones, but we end up pulling it off. So it's fun.
I was going to ask, where do you get the ideas from? Like, where do the recipes come from?
Aside from Great British Baking Show, we just
a lot of food blogs and
Yeah.
stuff. I get emailed stuff for like just cooking recipes because I cook a lot too, and baking stuff is included. And also Reddit. Reddit is our
Really?
rhubarb tart. They'll post some of their incredible bakes, and I'll just be like, I want to make something as close to that as I can because it looks incredible.
Well, it's all been so very impressive, and I feel like you can see how much better you've gotten along the way as well.
Thank you.
And we're endlessly impressed. It's really awesome, and I'm so glad that we got to have you on. And huge extra thanks to Nikki T. I had been thinking about asking you guys, but I was kind of, it's this weird thing where it's like, I want to ask our friends, AKA our family, to come on and talk about all these things, but I also don't want to be a nudge. And I also don't want to necessarily like blow all my points, if you will, with people, you know what I mean? But I'm just so inspired by you guys. And it's this weird thing. I had weight loss surgery and I'm not eating, and I can only eat like an ounce or two of food. But man, I am all over food porn, and in some weird way, it calms me. And I don't need to eat it if I can just look at it long enough. I'm like, I'm good.
I completely understand.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have to eat it. But unless, looking at it is great, but rubbing it on myself, I find, is really the best.
Dave, they don't want to know about our sex life. Please stop that.
That's a lovely eclair.
Sam Babola says, next step, go crazy and bake your own creations. You look more than talented to do that. I would agree. Have you thought about writing some originals?
We have, I think we've individually thought about it and not talked to each other about it yet. Is that true, Mollie? Because I
That's
feel I
definitely
have
true.
done that, but I'm like, where do I even begin? So I guess we could bounce it off each other. When we do that, we will be sure to let you guys know when it's our own. And maybe we'll get started on that soon, because we're running out of stuff to bake, to be honest with you. I mean,
Oh, well, now that you have the Instagram, everybody go on the Instagram and start requesting things.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
my birthday's coming up.
Your birthday's in December.
Yeah, it's coming up.
We can start practicing now, so it's perfect and grand by December.
Something
Oh,
with
man.
cardamom and rose water.
No rose water ever. It never works out well.
it worked in that there's one bake on our Instagram that's the Indian cardamom and rosewater buttercream cake that we did with a orange
Pistachio. It's a pistachio cake
pistachio cardamom
with a blood orange curd.
and everything.
We've seen that episode. I've seen that episode.
So I wasn't
Interesting.
thinking of that episode when I thought of making this. It was for a coworker from India who like really loves cardamom desserts. So I was just looking for something related to that. And then I saw that episode a few days later and I felt so validated about my decisions.
Yeah, nice.
But that's the
I
thing,
love
that
that.
was surprisingly good. The rose, like we did temper with the recipe to make sure it wasn't too like intense, but it came out delicious. It was,
I hear rose water and I feel like I'm eating perfume, and I just don't want any part of it. But that being said, I don't think I've ever tasted rose water in a dessert, nor I have no idea what cardamom tastes like. I feel ashamed
It's
to
kind of
say
like
that. out loud.
apples. It's kind of like an apple cider donut-y kind of.
Oh,
But it's kind of light though too, right?
Kind of light.
Yep.
Kind of light.
Right. It's
Oh,
not
you
only.
had cardamom?
I'll tell you. Yes, I have.
Liar!
No, because Diamond Walnuts put out a line of foo-foo almonds, and it was like cardamom and something else. And I was just like, these are delicious. I guess I like cardamom.
So now you're the king of cardamom.
So
You
no
know.
rose water.
I wear a cardigan and I eat cardamom.
Go ahead, keep talking then.
Sorry.
What were you saying, Kristin?
I just said no rose water. And also I'll add to that list, which we made Madeline's with this, was orange blossom water is the
Oh, never
same
again.
thing as rose water. It tasted like perfume, like you could even, it got on your fingers and then you couldn't wash it off. It was
Ooh.
perfume that just would not relent. And so no more orange blossom water.
Your Madelines, you turned into little kitty cats though, right?
Yeah.
Which were adorable. I think your Instagram already looks amazing. And I know you don't, I don't think you even had all the photos up yet.
No.
But I want to make sure everybody goes. It's drink.n.bake. So drink and bake.
And we're gonna make sure that we have all that when we do.
Yeah, we're gonna post
the links.
everything. And well, at any point, will you have any other pages, or you think you're just gonna stick with your regular Facebook page and the Instagram for now?
I think for now we'll just stick with the Insta and see if that does anything. I mean, we are amateur bakers, professional drinkers, but but
I think we're more interested in that because, you know, watching professionals do things, you know, you can't possibly relate to that. And I feel like you guys are drinking on a Saturday night and pulling Genoese sponge out of your butts. It's amazing. And it inspires the rest of us to want to maybe give that a try. So that's why I think it's perfect.
That's the goal.
All right.
Commend you. I commend you.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank
guys
you.
are doing
We're
a great
so
job. Keep up the good baking work.
And the good drinking work as well. Have some
Love you
fun.
guys.
And that's it. That's the
That's
show.
it. We killed the show, guys.
We love you guys.
Bye, we love you.
Bye.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next
Thanks
week.
for coming.